Hey everybody. Just waiting for Annie to run over here. Thanks for letting me be a minute or two late. I was going to sit down a couple minutes ago and kind of read through your questions, and then Annie had a mess in her diaper like nothing I have ever seen before. It was like a 17 wipe job. So I'm a little bit off my game right now. But I'm so glad you guys are here. Thanks, Jennifer, for being here and saying you love the podcast. I appreciate that. Okay, so I only have a couple of minutes today, and I also want to be able to make this short enough so that we can save it so you can watch it later, which has not worked the last couple times. So let's just jump into questions. If you have some, throw them in here. But I want to start with Christina Serva says, how do you make summer feel different when your work schedule doesn't change and you don't have any kids to make that difference apparent? I feel like that is a really lovely place to start, because even if you are home, even if you do have kids, it's sort of nice to sort of think of things like just about being a person that can kind of like help summer feel like summer. And there are a couple of things. One is two things: what you read and what you drink. I think are two really great things to think about to make summer feel like something different. There are things that we only experience in different seasons, and they kind of make sense, like holiday sort of things in the fall, and you go pumpkin patching and whatever in October. What can you do in the summer that feels like summer, right? And only summer, like it's only reserved for summer. And I feel like reading and drinking, those two things you can do like on purpose with like, this is summertime. I am drinking lemonade that maybe you make yourself or maybe you don't. Or maybe there's like if you like cocktails, maybe there's like a you take a few minutes and you get on the internet and you find a summer drink that you're going to love. You think about, I was listening to Annie B. Jones, who she's a great follow on Instagram, by the way. She owns a bookstore in Thomasville, Georgia called The Bookshelf. And she was on Ann Bogle's podcast, What Should I Read Next? Which if you're not listening to that, you should be. They were talking about summer books and what they were reading in the summertime. And it was like this delightful, she said something about like, when you read in the summer, it feels different when you read in the summer. Like whether you read it at the beach or the pool, a summer read is a summer read. And so think about what that means for you. What kind of books sort of make you feel like you're on vacation? Maybe not the setting, but the type of book, or, there's certain books that feel really great in the wintertime that don't really make sense as much in the summer. And so maybe you can do that for yourself, is think on purpose about what can I read this summer that's like on purpose for the summer. What can I drink this summer? What music do you listen to? Have like summer music that you listen to. Like make just a couple of small choices and things that you're already doing. You're already drinking something. You're already probably reading something, and you're already probably listening to something. So make them very summery. I just realized, you guys, okay, so The Nester, Michaelin, she's on Instagram as The Nester. She's my home whisperer person. She has a class that right now, she closed the spring class like a few weeks ago, but she's going to do a summer cozy class. It's like the Cozy Minimalist Summer, like how to do summer a certain way. And it's like, and I'm pretty sure she's going to have a drink recipe in it, because she knows like that's one of the things that like makes it feel really great. So those are my three things. I said two, but those are the three things: drink, book, music. Let's see. You're right, Lauren. You did a Christmas drink this year, and now you can't have sparkling apple juice without feeling Christmassy. I've decided I'm now only going to drink it at Christmas. Time for a summer option. I love that. When you attach things to a season, it just makes a huge difference. So that's what I would say for those of you, whether you have kids or you're home or all the things, but especially if you your summer, it doesn't really change except for the calendar, but you still want it to feel summery. So those are three things. Let's see. There are several questions about like with kids being home and kind of the challenge of kids being home, because obviously that's a huge part of it. Like there's Vicky Mama 24 said, I homeschool, so I'm used to my kids being home, except for my special needs son who does go to school. Because he's not able to do what the other kids can, summer has always been a challenge, and I feel my kids miss out on a lot. And then CareCut09 says, my kids are far apart in age. My son is 7 and my daughter is 2. I'm having trouble thinking of activities that both of them can do together outside of the house other than swimming. And I'm in Texas, so it's 1,000 degrees by 11 o'clock. And I think that one of the things that I have recognized in my own life is the value of talking to our kids about this kind of thing. Like just saying, I was having a conversation with some, I don't even remember what it was, but I remember having the conversation recently about when Annie was born. So I have 3 kids, if you're new around here or if you just don't know. I have 3 kids. Sam is 8, Ben is 6, Annie is 2. And she, when she was born, Ben, he would have been 4, I guess, and he was feeling really like lonely. He feels a lot of feelings. He's a kid with a lot of feelings, and he was feeling a lot of things, and I wasn't able to like engage with him in the way that I normally would. Sam just kind of, he's a pinball machine, so he's just all over and it doesn't really matter. But rather than like trying to, I just realized that I think that what we try to do is we try and come up with like an actual tangible solution of like the activity that's going to bring our kids together, or the activity that's going to make kids who are home with us normally and the ones who aren't feel like they're connecting and all that kind of stuff. And the thing that I have recognized is the value in just acknowledging the situation to our kids. Like I said to Ben, I remember this so distinctly. I was sitting in a chair in the living room nursing Annie, and he was kind of in the corner, and he seemed a little sad. And I was like, hey buddy, I just want you to know, I know it's a little different now that a baby's around, but like I still love you the same, and I can't hang out with you the same the way that I used to, but that doesn't mean I love you any different. And his countenance completely changed. Like it completely changed. And now I'm not saying there's like a magical conversation that's going to change everything, but I think like Vicki, like for you with your kids who are normally home and then they have a special needs sibling at home and things are a little bit different than they're used to, you can say that and acknowledge that, and it's an opportunity for us to realize that we're a team, that family is a team, and we all aren't going to have our needs met all the time at the same time, and that's okay. That's what it means to be a family. So like if you've got a 7-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I have that almost, I have an 8-year-old and a 2-year-old, and to be able to say, and I have to say to Sam sometimes, like, I know that you really want to go to such and such a place, but Annie's got to take a nap, and I know that's a bummer. Can we think of something else to do? Or thanks for understanding, or whatever it is. Like, it's great if you can find kind of that magical activity. But more than that, I just think having honest conversations, even with your little kids, really makes a big difference. Because I think it was, good call, a new June. She says it's worth asking the kids for solutions too. Absolutely. Like your kids might have really great ideas and you're like, cool, let's do it. Or it's an idea that makes no sense to you because you're a grown up and like kids think of weird things. You're like, well, what do you think we should do? What's a good solution you think? And they're like, stand up on the couch and see who can stand the longest without falling down. And it's like, great, go for it. I mean, like you just never know what they're going to say. So I think that's great, is to ask the kids for solutions as well. But I forgot what I was saying. There was something else. When I was talking to Sam and Annie and the 2-year-old and the thing, it's fine. It doesn't matter. Just acknowledging the truth of the situation and recognizing that that's what family means, is we don't all get what we want at the same time, and that's okay. That's good, actually. Let's see. I almost missed it. Hi, Vicki. We talked to you specifically. That's so great. She's just talking. I thought she was talking to me, but I don't think she is. Again, if you have questions, pop them in to the comment box. Let's see. There's AA Meador 1. Sorry, I don't even know how to pronounce. AAMEADOR 1. Any thoughts or suggestions for work from home or part-time work outside the home moms? I work about 25 hours a week, 2 days outside the home and 1 at home. I'll have a sitter the 2 days I'm gone, but otherwise I'm at home. She says you're basically the other half of my brain, so thank you thank you in advance. That's really sweet and also terrifying that I'm the other half of your brain. Let me try and give you an idea. I think I've said this before. I think I might have said this in the story earlier today. I did a story this morning about how we sort of like we have this weird paradox where we're like, summer's the worst, and like we assume the worst case in all the things, that the kids are going to constantly be fighting, and it's going to be literally 150 degrees all the time. We're going to die of heat exhaustion. Everyone's going to be arguing. We have this worst case, and then we also have this very conflicting ideal where it's like, we're going to explore nature, and we're going to create like memory journals together, and like you have all these things, and they do not match up. And so and then that's why we're discontent, right? Because we're expecting this and we're dreading it, and then we're also expecting this, and when it doesn't happen, we're mad and resent it's just this super super weird like swingy thing, this weird paradox that we live in, which is why we feel like crazy people. And so I think for work at home mom, really for any of these scenarios, when I said this in the mindset episode, I think, when I say we need to lower our expectations, that is not to say like, well, it's just going to suck. It's just going to be terrible. It's just going to whatever. Like that, it's not that kind of lowering expectations. It is trying to see this huge space that exists between the worst case and this weird, like, I don't know, like Southern living summer, where we have like checkered tablecloths on everything and everyone's dressed in florals and not sweating outside. Like there is such a huge space in between that gap, and that's where we want to stay. And so it's things like, well, if you have to work away from home for a couple of days a week and you have a sitter, what a gift that you have a sitter, right? So when you're home, I guess you want to feel like it could be whatever your goal is. Like, are you trying to, or do you have too much of an idealistic idea of like what it means to be productive and you need to get things done, or like you want to like super, super connect and have all these amazing activities and memories and all that. And it's just kind of like, when we're home, we're just going to be home and we're going to connect with each other. And maybe we have a day where we like get everything done together. I think I said that in the, no, that's coming next week. That's in my outline for next week. I knew that was the thing. Maybe I mentioned it this week too, but about like, maybe you have like cleaning, cooking day, like one day a week, and you just do all of it for the week with your people. And then you like do other fun stuff the other times and you connect then too. But we kind of like, I like the idea of seeing the summer week by week rather than the day by day. And especially if you're working part-time, it's easier for you to even do that, because it's like, okay, so these are 2 work days. These are like babysitter fun days. And then one of those days when I'm working home, those are the days where the kids maybe have like free reign of like they build forts and they destroy the house all they want to. The day after that, we clean the whole house together. We go grocery shopping together. Maybe we prep some stuff together, and we kind of live life. And then maybe we're at the weekend and we go play. And so just to kind of think about it in terms of a week and your expectations of like, not everything has to be like going to bounce houses and water parks. Not everything has to be these amazing road trips or, whatever. It's like, just live your life, do your thing, and you can make it special in those tiny, tiny ways with music and food and drinks and the stuff that you read and that maybe you don't watch like a show on TV. Maybe you do go to one of those like summer movie things. Like summer theaters have like, tickets for kids for like $1 to $4 that include popcorn. Like you can do those tiny things to make it simple. Like take whatever is regular and just sort of go, give it like a summer, like a little thing, and lower your expectations of this like crazy situation over here. And also give your people a little credit that it's not always going to be like this either. Because if we expect it to always be like this really weird, and if you just showed up, you're like, what do these hands mean? If you expect everything to be horrible and everybody to be fighting, when it does happen, you're going to be like, see, you guys are always fighting. And it's like, no, they're kids. Kids are going to fight. Like, it's what they do. It's how they communicate. My boys, like, it's like they're not even communicating if they're not yelling at each other. And so just live in the middle. Namaste. Just live in the middle, right? Lower your expectations of this crazy ideal and this crazy worst scenario. Lower your expectations of both of those and just kind of have a regular summer and just add a little extra touch of things like that. Okay, let's see. The fighting. I know, the fighting. Let me see if I missed anything. Let's see. Oh, there you go. Erica says, as a parent of 4 kids, I love this. Like this is the definition of a mindset shift. As a parent of 4 kids who works part-time, all the fun summer stuff I don't want to do, but my kids want to do, I have the twice a week babysitter do that with them. Like, it's magical because you can still have memories with your kids and live life with your people if you're not like, going on crazy scavenger hunts around the city and sweating with ice pops at every stop. Like, you don't have to do that. Now, if you want to, if that makes you come alive, by all means. It does not make me. So there you go. Okay, so last question. And this is actually, echoes one of the ones I was going to answer from Instagram. Anyway, Chattanooga says, how do you set expectations for the kids? I really need to lower my 6-year-old's expectations of summer break. And someone else had asked, like, I mentioned the summer anchor, like choosing your summer anchor, and how do you encourage your kids to do that? And someone also said that they had their kids make a list of like all the things that they wanted to do, and then they would sort of check them off, but then the kids start freaking out that they weren't checking things off fast enough, or whatever. And I would just say, maybe rather than, if you feel like your kids are a little bit too young to choose like one summer anchor, do like one, don't call it this, but like have them say one thing maybe that week that they really want to do. You okay, boo? Okay. Have them choose one thing that week, like, all right, maybe it's like Sunday night or Monday morning or whatever it is. And you're like, so if you could choose one cool thing that you want to happen this week, what would it be? Ask your 4-year-old. And they're like, go get a book at the library. And you're like, I can do that. Or maybe they're like, I want to go visit grandma across the country. And you're like, we can't do that, but how about we have like a major FaceTime and we do an art project together over like whatever it is. Like you can kind of like use your kid's idea as a gauge, but rather than like having a major summer list or giving them the pressure of like there's only one thing that they can choose to do for the entire summer and then they start to panic, do like one thing a week, like give them one thing a week, set their expectations of like, I know summer is super fun and I would really like to make this one really cool special thing for you happen this week if we could do it. So what would that one thing be? You pick your week thing. And that could work. But again, like, I don't know. I just think back to when I was a kid in the summertime. I don't recall my parents asking me those kinds of questions, and I still had fine summers. Like I still have pleasant memories of summers. And if your kids are like, oh, this is dumb, this is boring, we all 100% said that when we were kids, and we're perfectly fine. Right? We're all perfectly fine. I know that really the thing is like being a parent and dealing with it and like having to be like, I don't want to listen to you complain anymore. So what I usually do when my kids are complaining is I'm like, if you need to complain, it's great, but can you go in a different room and do it? Because I don't want to listen to it. Like it doesn't accomplish anything, but if you need to get it out of your system, go for it. Just somewhere where the door is closed. Maybe that's terrible parenting, but it seems to work so far. So, I mean, what are you going to do? All right. I think we better go. I need to put Annie to bed, and maybe we can save this for real. Thanks for being here. Next week, we're going to talk about putting together a routine for sure. And so I hope that helps out you guys. Terrible sentence. Thanks for being here. See you later.